This may look a little different because I'm on a different phone. But anyway, this video is about homelessness and just a couple screenshots. One of them is about one of the foster care situations, which I think I mentioned a lot of times, but especially in the Truth of the Homeless Population video, where I talked about how people commonly have to run away from foster care or end up homeless underage because of that, and how they also dump people out at 18. And so a lot of homeless people are dumped out foster kids. That's kind of one of the funny things when people try to fearmonger and guilt trip people and then not running away from severe abuse situations. And they try to say just call CPS because, for one, calling CPS does not guarantee that they'll do anything or that they'll even come out. Not to mention, CPS is going to be the same or worse than whatever situation you're already in. So if you're already being sex trafficked, CPS is automatic trafficking, and you can also get into full-blown sex trafficking through there. And then people will say, well, it's not good because you're going to be homeless. But the thing is, if you go into foster care, you're going to end up homeless too either way. So, yeah. I was in foster care when I turned 18. They cut me loose and I had zero idea what I was doing. Because, of course, when you're in these systems, you're not allowed to do anything. You get told when to shower, when you can go to sleep, where you can go to sleep, what you can eat, when you can use the bathroom. Depending on what type of institution you're in, you're even watched using the bathroom. And you're not allowed to work a job. You're commonly not even allowed to go to school. So, you're not going to know how to do anything for yourself because you were never allowed to do anything. And you were literally locked up your whole life for no reason. Homeless for 3 years through no fault of my own, and most people treated me like garbage. Some even thought I did drugs simply because I was homeless. The only thing I cared about was trying to survive. Oh, actually, I remember what video this is from. I think this specific screenshot, I don't know about the other ones, but I think this one is from a video a video reacting to some millionaire who faked going homeless and becoming a millionaire again. I think this is what this is from, but I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it is now that I'm reading more of it. Making enough money to start a business. Oh yeah, this is from that. Making enough money to start a business was the last thing on my mind. I was more worried about how I was going to eat and where I could sleep safely. It was pure luck that an organization for women took me in, even though I didn't meet their criteria. They taught me the skills the system failed to teach me. Which they didn't fail, they just didn't do it because that's not what they're made to do. They're simply made to traumatize, torture, and abuse people, and have a world of messed up people, and people who can't think for themselves and don't know how to do anything but follow the rules of higher ups and all that. Failed to teach me in order to survive on my own. To this day, I'll never understand the discrimination against the homeless. And if you want to be truthfully honest, being in the Cash for Kids system or in any institution is technically being homeless. I mean, other than the school system, part of the Cash for Kids system, obviously. I mean, unless you're homeless and going to school. But other than that, if you're in jail, you obviously can't pay rent anywhere unless you are really rich, so you're homeless. If you're in the foster care system, you're homeless. If you're in the any other branch of the Cash for Kids system other than the school system one. So if you're in the boarding school branch of the Cash for Kids system, that's basically being homeless. Although you're not necessarily quote unquote in the streets, because I don't even like that term, because in the streets means that you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, you're places you shouldn't be, you're talking to people that you shouldn't be, which is exactly why you can have a house and be in the streets. In fact, a lot of the people who have houses are the ones that are stereotypically quote unquote in the streets, but still, you're not going to be in the streets, but you definitely don't have a house if you're in these systems. The discrimination is a coping mechanism because if the average person actually had to confront the fact that homeless people are just people like them, and that the vast majority of cases of homelessness are of no fault of their own or otherwise are not a mark against their character, they might start to feel guilty. And then when they realize that they're one bad day away from being homeless themselves, they might get anxious. And I mentioned this in another video, or probably a couple, where someone I know had told me that they feel like the reason people don't like homeless people is because they know they would never want to be in that position. Although that's also true, but one of the things that I would always say is just that people see homeless people, which, like I said, is really stupid because if anything, they should feel this way about vagabonds and people who are living off grid or homesteading, because the term homeless means that you fell out the system or left behind by the systems and you want to be in there. But anyway, what I say is that people see homeless people and they see somebody who's found a way to get around being a slave to the systems that they feel like they're a slave to, and so they are basically jealous of homeless people because they feel like they aren't a slave to the system, even though that's still being a slave to the system if you're actually homeless and not a vagabond or something who people just label off as homeless. Because one, you're in the homeless industrial complex, which is a part of the systems, and then two, you usually get in that position of homelessness by being played on and used by the systems and a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, so people see themselves working a job they hate to pay bills for a house they hate, and probably even providing for a family that they really don't even want, and they feel like homeless people aren't doing that, and so they feel mad.